Hey everybody, it's Elliot from Little Punk People here, and today I'm here with the one and only Thomas from MESHUGGAH. And MESHUGGAH has a new album coming out called Immutable. It's going to be released April 1st. I have to say I got to listen to it early, and if you're a music fan, a MESHUGGAH fan, or if you're just watching this video, you're going to be ecstatic because this album is incredible. But anyways, are you ready?
I am, obviously. I'm here, man.
Let's do this. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. We just kind of started rehearsing, and we've had such a long time off. I mean, I basically haven't even hit a drum since early April of 21. So it's almost a year since I really played at all. So we just kind of started, the first little baby steps of getting back into shape, so to speak, the other day. So like first day is like 3 songs, and then your hands are like, and everything hurts. And then the next day, yesterday we played like maybe 4 songs, and today I think we did 5 of them. So it slowly but surely we're trying to get there, get back into business.
Well, it's good to be back. When recording Immutable, did you come to a point when you realized that you are creating some of your best work yet?
I don't know. I mean, I think that comes before recording. I mean, during the process of like writing the songs, you do have like an appreciation for what you're hearing. Obviously, if you feel satisfied with the material, it's I think for each album, as we change as we go through life, and between it, we have like 4 or 5 years between each album. So for every time you do record a new one, you're a slightly different person, obviously, than you were the when you recorded or wrote the previous album. So it's kind of hard to gauge whether you're actually writing better material or just something different. And at least for us, we try our best to kind of come up with something that we feel is like something new for us, at least, that we haven't done before. And that comes down to pretty much every riff of every song. So we really try to kind of challenge ourselves and kind of get something new into each track, like a slightly new vibe.
Yes, it's always good to challenge yourself and explore. It's good for a band. Your song Phantoms has one of the greatest breakdowns that I've ever heard. Are you excited to play that one live?
No, I am not, actually. I think with every album, I think there are some songs that that these are like definitely live material tracks, and there's always like a couple or a few of them that that you're probably not gonna play live. And I don't think we're gonna be playing Phantoms live. It's a very it's a tricky song to play, man. For me, it's very tricky. It's like the style of playing combined with the tempo is really hard to kind of, really nail it. So, I mean, in studio where you can do like 10, 15 takes of it, it's something else. And then just choose the best parts of what you got going on. But as far as playing it live, we'll see. Maybe down the road at some point we'll get to that, but not at this point.
Well, I'm just happy that the song simply exists. As a drummer, do you naturally keep count of everyday things, like your footstep, brushing your teeth, or just simple tasks like that?
Not really. I do have one weird thing, though, but I don't know. I don't necessarily see the connection with me being a drummer, but maybe there is. And that's, I really can't walk, staircases without counting the steps. And for a while, actually, I used to count my steps when I was just walking too. But that would be like the only thing where I have some kind of weird OCD that kind of kicks in. But you can ask me, like, all the staircases that I use in life that I've used more than a couple times. You could ask me now, I would tell you the exact amount of steps for all of them. Anything that's in my neighborhood, like I know them all.
Mm-hmm. I was just curious because I also have OCD, walking, going out the door, and have to do certain things before I can fall asleep and stuff. I was just curious. But
all right. Yeah. Well, I think the diagnosis of things like ADHD and ADD and things like this and OCD it's become like a popular thing. Now you diagnose, you try to diagnose that in even in early ages. And looking back, with the people that I grew up with, I think so many of them had some kind of combination or a bunch of them.
Meshuggah has so many different elements to its sound. How would you define your band in 3 words or less?
Oh, whoa. You caught me off guard there, man. I mean, heavy. Heavy is something you have in your hands, and our guitarists have a certain like chug to when they play because they've done it so much that it's really hard for, I think, for a lot of guitarists to emulate that heaviness. And I think and I hope that kind of it's something that kind of comes through in my drumming as well, and it definitely comes through in how our bass player plays his bass as well. It's like about the intent and how you play like the string and stuff like that, and so heavy will be one of the words. Intricate, I would guess I would have to put in there because they're on a normal day, and in a lot of our tracks there's definitely a lot of things that's kind of going on that's maybe like kind of a little bit of a step aside from what is normal metal, if there is such a thing as normal metal these days, but something that is maybe a little more mainstream and a little more radio friendly, if you will. But yeah, I don't know, a third word, cute. I think we're cute. Let's just throw that in there. It's not my opinion, but let's just use that word.
Those are
So there
3
you
good
go.
words.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, the third one was a little like we didn't see that one coming. I sure as hell didn't, but here we have it.
Caught me off guard. Your drumming in Armies of the Preposterous sounds incredible. Do you think we'll ever live to see a world without war?
Yeah, I think so, and I hope so. But it would probably mean that mankind is gone from planet. Unfortunately, it's sad, man. But not in my lifetime, that's for sure. Hopefully in yours, man. You're still young, so hopefully, I hope so for your sake. But we'll have to wait and see.
Well, hopefully one day we'll see peace. If you could bring any dead musician back to life to jam with them, who would you pick?
Ooh, I mean that would have to be Neil Peart, even though he's also a drummer. So, but drummers can jam, I guess. That would be just because he was like so much like my idol growing up and stuff, and he sadly passed a couple years back, and that was a hard hit. I never actually got to meet him in person, so that was a bummer. So yeah, that he would be the one. It would be a weird sounding jam, though. It probably wouldn't swing that much, but I mean, I don't know what I would do in a room with him, but yeah, there you go.
It's a good choice. What kind of world do you think you'd like to go to after you die?
Oh man. Uh well, yeah, I don't know, man. But hopefully one without war. Let's just say that. That would be a bummer. You're like there's actually an afterlife and you just end up in another really violent place. I don't know. That would suck. So yeah, something peaceful would be nice.
Yeah, hopefully a good place. Past Tense is a really cool closing song to your album. If you could travel to your past and talk to the child version of yourself, what would you say to him?
I would just stop behaving like an asshole, dude, and get a grip on things and stop trying to impress so much and stop being hurtful to people and just get on with drumming. Start practicing more, guy. It's not so much that I would actually tell my young self that you had to do different, but there would be a few things that we need to have a serious discussion about. Yeah. Let's not go into that though, but yeah.
Well, that was a good piece of advice. If your music took the form of an animal, what animal do you think it would be?
It would be like a tap dancing hippopotamus. Like a hippopotamus that for some reason like has really like agile kind of moves and stuff like that. That's yeah, I think so.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. The Faultless is such an evil sounding song. What do you picture in your head when you're listening to it?
Man, I don't know. I think sometimes what you like, kind of what you see and what you think about is going to change throughout like the over years. Like it's fairly new still. Right now, it's more kind of tied to the lyrics of Faultless, which is basically about certain people being kind of hurtful, not realizing kind of how they're hurting people with words and actions. And I think it's like kind of mental and psychological abuse, and some people go through life like inflicting injury and kind of hurt on others, and they lack the ability to see their own kind of faults and flaws, and kind of a lack of insight of self, and with all the kind of terrible implications that means to those that are around him or her in this case. So yeah, I try to kind of think right now I'm thinking more about the lyrical contents because that's kind of fresh in my head, but I think over time it's gonna become more about a vibe or something like that. Yeah.
For this, you're just going to simply name your favorite album from each of these bands.
Oh man, you're going to put me on the spot because I am not good with that stuff. Let's hope it's some old stuff like Pink Floyd or something.
Well,
we can try it. We can try it
if you want.
We'll try it. We'll try it. Okay, go ahead. Let's see if yeah.
Slayer.
I mean, come on, man. That would have to be Rain and Blood. That's just how it goes. I mean, yeah.
Absolute classic. Iron Maiden.
Somewhere in Time, and that song Caught Somewhere in Time is one I really dig that song.
I love that song too.
Yeah,
it's incredible as well.
That album has like, I don't know, it has some kind of a little more of melancholy to it. It's got like the tonality and how they play. It's like a little sad for Iron Maiden album, and I kind of always liked that about that album.
It's a good album. Black Sabbath.
Yeah. For me, Black Sabbath was with Dio. Those were my favorite like Sabbath albums, like Heaven and Hell, and my one of my first kind of what I really fell in love like with dark music was Live Evil. Like a friend of mine had Live Evil and had Dio obviously on vocals, and it had one of my absolute favorite drummers, Vinny Appice, on drums, and he has that thing too. We were talking about earlier, like heavy, like that guy can play heavy, and it's like, oh.
Hey, Dio is one of the best singers ever. Metallica.
It would definitely be off of Master of Puppets, because that album had such an impact on not just me, but all of us in the band when that came out.
Nice. And AC/DC.
I don't know. I kind of like the old stuff with the first singer, like Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap, but I really dig like some of the later stuff too. It does, I mean, AC/DC is AC/DC, and half of their songs sound exactly the same. So to me, a little bit, but I do love them, and I mean, yeah.
Okay. Last but certainly not least, Meshuggah.
Oh man, that is, yeah, that's a tough one, man. There's one track off of the new album Immutable that's called Ligature Marks, and to me that really turned into a very strong track, I think. So I really dig that one. Yeah.
Great choices. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I Not really, man. I'm always the worst at that kind of stuff, No, not really. I'm quite good.
Okay. Well, once again, April 1st, Immutable. It is incredible. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day.
You too, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
All right.